important, but was in fact not the driver of the change of the considerable advances that we have seen in renewable energy. So what I think one can see is the emergence of an alignment of interests, the emergence of something, that we can call the transformative alliance. And the chief characteristic is that it is a public-private civic alliance. In Europe, certainly, the civic element, the NGO element was quite important. But on its own, it would not have achieved much. It achieved a lot of hot discussion, but the change came very much from the business community, that was particularly concerned with setting up internationally competitive industries in renewable energy, and, as I mentioned earlier, also from government players concerned with energy security. And I've heard from my colleagues from my Indian research colleagues, that the same story is more or less true in India too. You know, with all the successes you've had in India and globally as TERI, to produce knowledge, to disseminate this knowledge, to push for the adoption of this knowledge. You were not, in fact, the driver of the changes that we saw. And this is fine. You know, let others who pursue different interests, pursue different objectives, let's try to harness them to what we want to do. There's nothing wrong with this. So, the key features are the transformative alliance, which consists of actors who have diverging interests, but are in fact pushing in the same direction and in the direction we want. So, this is something that I think this is a story one can tell quite convincingly, and one can ground empirically with a bit more research for some of the countries that I've mentioned. And what I find quite a challenge is to address what you just talked about, the bottom of the pyramid. Because the resource efficiency cannot just stay at the top level of the energy companies, of the wind power companies, of the sun, of the photovoltaic companies. We need to go further down the industrial structure and deal with the enterprises at the bottom of the pyramid. And here I would like to suggest that these are not sort of just optional partners in our struggle for a better world. I would like to suggest that the informal economy has been the champion of resource efficiency in the world. The champion. Yeah? And we need to celebrate this and use this. And I hope you will hear more about this. Whenever I